Okay, Leo, quick question. Imagine you're at a dinner party in New York. You're sitting next to someone you just met, you're making small talk, and this person says, "So, what do you do?" Now, what if they also say, "Oh, I just started seeing a therapist. It's been really helpful." Does that sound strange to you?
Wait, a total stranger on a first meeting at a dinner party?
Yes.
I mean, honestly, it sounds very strange to me. In my culture, that's private. You don't share that with someone you just met.
Right. And that's exactly why we need to talk about this today, because in the United States, especially in big cities like New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, talking about therapy is completely normal. It's not considered heavy or too personal. In fact, not talking about it can actually make you seem less approachable.
Wait, really? So if I say I don't talk about that stuff, people might think I'm closed off?
Exactly. And that's the cultural shift that a lot of English learners don't realize until they're already in the conversation. So today we're going to give you the exact phrases Americans use when they talk about therapy, self-care, and mental health without sounding dramatic, awkward, or like you're reading from a textbook.
Because I definitely sound like a textbook right now.
You do a little bit, but that's okay. That's why we're here. So let's start with the most important phrase. If you want to say you go to therapy in a natural way, the most common phrase is, "I see a therapist."
I see a therapist. Not I go to therapy, because I always say I go to therapy or I need therapy.
Great question. "I go to therapy" is grammatically correct. Americans say it, but there's a subtle difference. "I see a therapist" sounds more personal, more normal, like it's just a regular part of your routine. "I go to therapy" can sound a bit more formal or clinical. And "I need therapy," that one is almost always a joke.
A joke?
Yeah. If an American says, "Ugh, I need therapy after that meeting," they're not literally saying they need a mental health professional. They're saying that was stressful. It's exaggerated. It's humor. But if you say it seriously, it can sound dramatic.
Oh, I've definitely said I need therapy seriously before. In my defense, I actually needed it.
And that's fine. But if you want to sound natural in a casual conversation, try "I see a therapist" instead. Let's practice. Repeat after me. "I see a therapist."
I see a therapist.
"I've been seeing a therapist for about a year."
I've been seeing a therapist for about a year.
Perfect. Now here's the next level. If you want to talk about therapy without directly saying the word therapy, Americans use this phrase all the time. "I'm working on myself."
I'm working on myself. That sounds so positive.
It is. It's very positive. It means you're actively trying to improve your mental health, your habits, your emotional well being, and it doesn't carry any stigma. In fact, saying "I'm working on myself" actually earns you respect in American culture.
Really, it earns you respect.
Absolutely. Because it shows self awareness. It shows you're taking responsibility for your own growth. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're at a coffee shop with a friend and you're talking about a recent breakup.
Okay, I'm imagining.
You could say, "Yeah, the breakup was hard, but I'm working on myself. I started seeing a therapist and it's helping a lot."
So you're combining both phrases. I'm working on myself and I started seeing a therapist.
Yes, and it sounds completely normal. The friend wouldn't be shocked. They'd probably say, "Good for you. That's great."
That's so different from my culture. In my culture, if you said that, people would ask, what's wrong with you? Why do you need a therapist?
Right. And that's the cultural gap we're bridging today. In the US, therapy is normalized to the point where not going to therapy can actually raise eyebrows, especially among younger generations.
Wait, so people judge you if you don't go?
I wouldn't say judge in a harsh way, but there's a cultural assumption that everyone could benefit from some self reflection. So if someone says, "I've never even thought about therapy," the reaction might be, "Oh, really? Huh." Like that's slightly surprising.
Wow. So, as an English learner, if I want to fit in socially, I should at least know how to talk about this naturally.
Exactly. And not just talk about it yourself. You also need to know how to respond when someone brings it up. Because if an American tells you, I've been seeing my therapist for 3 years now, and you react with, oh my God, are you okay? Is something wrong? That can feel awkward.
Oh no, that's exactly what I would say.
I know, and it's not your fault. In many cultures, mentioning therapy is like saying, I have a serious illness. So your brain goes into emergency mode. But in the US, the appropriate response is much more casual.
So, what do I say? What's the natural response?
You can say something like, that's awesome. I'm glad you found someone you like. Or good for you. I've been thinking about starting too. Or even just, oh, nice. How's that going?
Wait, oh, nice? That sounds so casual, like they're talking about a new gym membership.
Ah, yes, that's exactly the tone. It's like saying, oh, nice, I started a new yoga class. The tone is supportive, but not dramatic. And that's the key. If you make it too serious, it becomes weird.
Okay, I need to practice this. So, if someone says, I started seeing a therapist last month, I say,
You say, oh, nice, how's it going?
oh, nice. How's it going?
Yes. Or, that's great. I've heard really good things about therapy.
That's great. I've heard really good things about therapy.
Perfect. Now, let me give you an example that Spanish speakers especially tend to struggle with. In Spanish, there's a phrase like, estoy en terapia, I'm in therapy. In English, we don't really say I'm in therapy. It sounds like you're currently in a room with a therapist at this exact moment. We say, I go to therapy, or I see a therapist, or even more natural, I'm doing therapy.
I'm doing therapy. I've never heard that.
It's very common in casual speech. Yeah, I'm doing therapy twice a week. It sounds active, like you're engaged in it.
Okay, so I'm in therapy, not natural. I'm doing therapy, natural. Got it.
And here's another one for Chinese speakers specifically. In Chinese, you might directly translate 看心理医生 as see a psychological doctor. But in English, we almost never say psychological doctor. We say therapist. If you say, I see a psychological doctor, it sounds very formal and clinical, like you're reading a textbook.
So, therapist is the everyday word?
Yes, counselor is also common, especially for school or university settings. Psychologist is used too, but that's more specific. Therapist is the safest, most natural word for everyday conversation.
Therapist. I see a therapist. I'm working on myself. Okay, I'm building my vocabulary.
Good. Now let's talk about one more phrase that's extremely helpful. If you want to talk about mental health without being too specific, Americans often use the word headspace.
Headspace, like the app?
Yes, like the app. But the word itself is used all the time in conversation. Headspace means your mental state, your emotional condition. For example, I'm in a better headspace now than I was last year. Or, I needed to get into the right headspace before that meeting.
So instead of saying, my mental health is good, I can say, I'm in a good headspace.
Exactly. It sounds more natural and less clinical. Let's try a full conversation. I'll be an American friend. You be you.
Okay, I'm ready.
Hey, Leo, long time no see. How have you been?
Hey, yeah, it's been a while. I've been working on myself.
Nice. Good for you. What are you doing?
I started seeing a therapist about 2 months ago.
That's awesome. How's it going?
It's going really well, actually. I'm in a much better headspace now.
I love that. That's really great to hear.
Did I do okay?
You did fantastic. That sounded completely natural. The only tiny thing when you said, I started seeing a therapist, you paused like it was a secret. In American culture, you can say it with confidence, no hesitation.
Right, because it's normal, not a secret.
Exactly. Now, here's the part that surprises most learners. In the US, there's a whole vocabulary around self-care that goes beyond therapy. Words like boundaries, triggered, healing journey, toxic, gaslighting. These words are now used in everyday conversation, not just in therapy.
Wait, Gaslighting is an everyday word now?
Yes, it's very common. If someone says, "My boss is gaslighting me," everyone understands what that means. It means manipulating someone into doubting their own reality. 10 years ago, that word was mostly used by psychologists. Now people use it at work, with friends, on social media.
That's a lot of vocabulary. Should I use all of these?
No, be careful. Some of these words are very strong. If you call someone toxic, that's a serious accusation. So, for intermediate learners, I recommend starting with the gentler words. Boundaries is a great one.
Boundaries. Like I need to set boundaries?
Yes, I'm learning to set better boundaries with my time. Or I told my friend I needed some space, I'm setting a boundary. This is very normal. It shows emotional intelligence.
And it doesn't sound dramatic?
Not at all. It sounds mature. In fact, Americans respect people who can talk about boundaries. It means you know yourself. Let me give you an example that Arabic speakers particularly connect with. In many Arabic speaking cultures, family closeness is very strong. You're expected to be available whenever family needs you. But in American culture, saying I need to set boundaries with my family is actually seen as healthy.
That would be very difficult in my culture. Family is everything. You can't say I need space from my family.
I understand completely. And that's exactly why we're having this conversation. You don't need to change your culture. But when you're speaking English with Americans, knowing these words helps you understand what they mean when they say them, and it helps you respond naturally.
Okay, so if an American friend says, I've been struggling with setting boundaries at work, I should say,
You can say, "That sounds tough, but good for you for recognizing it."
that sounds tough, but good for you for recognizing it.
Perfect. Or, "I hear you. Boundaries are hard."
I hear you. That's a good one too. Short and supportive.
Exactly. Now let's do a practice round. I'm going to say a sentence. You respond naturally. Ready?
Ready.
I've been seeing my therapist for about 6 months now. It's been really helpful.
That's awesome. I'm glad it's working for you.
Good. Another one. I think I need to start working on myself. I've been feeling burned out.
That's a good idea. It's never too late to start.
Nice. Last one. My brother keeps pushing my boundaries. I don't know how to talk to him.
That sounds really hard. I hope you find a way.
Excellent. You used, "I hope you find a way." That's a very natural response. You're getting the hang of it.
Thanks. This is actually really helpful. I used to freeze when someone mentioned therapy. Now I feel like I have actual words to use.
That's the goal. And listeners, if you're watching this and thinking, "I still feel awkward talking about this," that's completely normal. It takes practice. But here's the thing, the more you practice these phrases, the more natural they become. And the next time an American friend casually says, "I'm seeing my therapist tomorrow," you won't panic. You'll say, "Oh, nice. How's that going?"
Oh, nice. How's that going? I can do that.
You can do that. So here's your takeaway for today. 3 phrases, say them with me. Number 1, I see a therapist.
I see a therapist.
Number 2, I'm working on myself.
I'm working on myself.
Number 3, I'm in a better headspace now.
I'm in a better headspace now.
If you can use those 3 phrases naturally, you will sound 10 times more fluent when talking about mental health in English, and you'll understand American culture a little bit better too.
Honestly, I think I learned more about American culture in these 10 minutes than I did in my entire first year living here. The whole idea that therapy is casual, it's still surprising to me, but now I know how to handle it.
And that's exactly why we do these Culture Decoded episodes. Language isn't just words, it's the stories behind the words.
Well said, Maya. So, listeners, here's your challenge for today. Use these phrases in the comments. Tell us, have you ever seen a therapist? Or do people in your culture talk about therapy openly? Use the phrase, I see a therapist, or I'm working on myself, and we'll give you feedback.
Yes, please do. We read every comment. And if you found this helpful, hit that subscribe button. We drop a new episode of Speak Like a Native every single day. Leo, anything to add?
Just this. However you're feeling right now, whatever headspace you're in, it's okay, and you're not alone.
Beautiful. Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll see you in the next episode.
See you next time.